point. 2 minutes of the whole today. Your water bottle, the water tent is available on the hockey side of the hockey entrance, on the hockey side of the venue. Should you require any information regarding today's event and for the rest of the week, make way to the information point in the marquee, just in front of the new pavilion, and also if you require any medical, same area. So the medical tent is the main marquee. My apologies, this is your 30-second warning. Playing officials, 30 seconds.
Welcome back to Nottingham. Highfields Sports Complex, part of the University of Nottingham. And it's game 6 of the day, and it's the men's 50s clash between Wales and Singapore. Wales in their traditional red and Singapore are in the black strip as we're underway. And it's Wales who have the tap off, and they are already at the 7-metre line. I'd say joining me on co-coms once again is Ben Meakin. Good afternoon, Ben.
Good afternoon, and this is going to be an interesting game. I've not seen much of the men's 50s yet, so we'll see how this one goes.
Yeah, Singapore coming into this with a win and a loss, and Wales have 2 losses from the games yesterday. They lost 6-2 to Ireland and 8-1 to England. Singapore with a 5-3 victory over Ireland and then a 5-2 loss to England.
It's only a bit of jet lag since their flight from Singapore.
They've it's not a bad start at all, is it, for them? Also, I want to say a big thank you to their skipper Jim Layard, who sent this fantastic information on the team. It's really is appreciated by all the presenting staff and commentators here. So thank you very much for that, Jim. It is very, very much appreciated, as I say. And hopefully we can use some of the information he's given us.
Yeah, absolutely.
I haven't read through it all properly, so I don't know whether how much of it is appropriate for a broadcast.
Yeah. maybe we should vet it first.
So, no score so far in this one, as both teams really, I suppose, feeling each other out. It's their first game of today. Both the previous games were yesterday.
I'd love my first game to be at 1 o'clock, Jono.
Yeah, so they've had a chance for a good amount of rest, but as you see, it's beautiful sunshine now. Looking at the sky, it looks like it's going to stay that way. Much fresher today compared to yesterday, but it's midday, also 1 o'clock, and that heat is just going to get more and more intense as the afternoon wears on.
Well, that's got to favour Singapore, right? Because obviously,
you would think so, yeah.
Where their training is based, I'm guessing it is in Singapore. They're going to be very used to this weather, and the rainy parts of Wales might not help them.
Now, I was speaking to Jim Layard, their captain, on Monday evening, and he was saying that the team is a mixture of expats and Australian and New Zealanders, so they are training out there. So,
and they've probably been playing for a long time as well, so they'll know the game, and you can see that already they're driving 70 metres every time. So yeah, let's just see how that transpires into the rest of this game.
This Wales who looking to drive towards their sub-box, but excellent defence by Singapore so far, defending high, and they're really penning Wales into their own half. They've not made the 10-metre line yet.
No, it looks like it's fifth coming now, and actually the ball is down, so great defence from Singapore there, and they should get a great opportunity to try and put the first score on the board.
Singapore start again. One touchdown as they go over 10 metres. It's Wales' turn for a high defence. Bit of space opening up for Singapore now. Jim Layard puts the ball down, gets the ball back.
So they're just going to look for a 32 dump. It's going to be a scoop. Can anyone chop holes? He couldn't get to his hole quick enough.
Hwao Huang there, and I think he looked a bit frustrated with his teammates there.
You could see him beckoning that his middle to chop that hole a bit earlier. The chopping of the hole came. It was just a little bit late, and maybe that's got to do something with the age and the heat, and also probably warming into the game as well.
Okay, we are going to hand over to the studio and Ian, who is with a guest.
Well, welcome everybody back to the studio. I'm delighted to say, joined by Sean Donovan here, player for Singapore, resting today though.
Yes, a well-deserved rest from yesterday. It's been a great competition so far. We're firstly I'd like to say thank you very much to the FIT organisation for inviting us over. It's a great privilege to be able to come over, and I think the other teams are happy that we're here as well, so we can have a great competition amongst.
They certainly are happy. Of course, Singapore, as we know, is definitely not in Europe, but it is the European Championship. But you got a special invite.
Yes, we did get a special invite. We got some good contacts at FIT and with the English Touch, and we were working with them very closely. But we didn't know till I think it was end of April that we were going to be playing. So a mad rush for training at the end.
Well, it doesn't look it, because you had a very strong result against Ireland, picking up a win yesterday.
Yes, that was a crunch match, I think, because we knew a lot of their players from the World Cup in Malaysia. So there was a lot of determination from both sides to win. So we'll see how the second match goes in that series.
How are the chaps going to do here against Wales?
I don't know. Wales lost both their matches yesterday, but if I know anything from Welsh rugby, never write them off.
Never.
So I suspect they'll come out hard and fighting. I'm not sure there'll be any tries yet, but hopefully we'll get a win there.
Fantastic. Right, I'm going to let you get back. I know you want to go support. I really appreciate you running up. Best of luck. Enjoy the rest of the
tournament.
Thanks so much. And we appreciate you talking to us. Let's hand back to John Owen in the studio.
Thanks very much, Ian. Appreciate all the interviews you're getting throughout the matches. Great insight into some of the teams, a little bit more in-depth coverage of the teams that are on show, and it's great to get the coaches up during the games just to give that insight.
Yeah, I think the extra insight that we've got today from coaches, managers, players, it gives you an on-field feeling as well, and that feeling's very different to what probably you and I think they feel. So it's good to see and it's good to hear.
No scoring so far. Singapore, who probably, I think it's fair to say, have had the better of the game so far, but the Welsh defence are playing very well and have stopped any real grade A scoring chances.
Yeah, it looks like we're playing between the Singapore 10-metre line and the Wales try line at the moment, but Wales haven't really got any attacking options yet. Now, I'm not sure what's happening here. They've just walked back about 20 metres, but we've got on the outside, and it was last play, so if it's last play, then it was just trying to get a bit more space. That didn't work, and let's see if Wales can now.
Hwao Huang again.
Yeah, he's got some speed. He has, and I think if you've got speed at this age, then you're going to take advantage of it.
It's going to be a huge asset in this category. And that's not me being disparaging to anyone over 50 as I'm nearly 50 myself, but as you get older, you lose speed. So anyone with that bit of pace is going to make a huge difference.
Oh, absolutely. And then while we were just chatting there, Wales have just had one of their players forced up, so that was just one of their far wingers. Just I think it's a bit of chat. He's been forced up, so he's had to go to the sub box, and another player's had to come on to. It's cool off time. Shall we say?
Here's Wang again. He's touched on the way through. Really, really good touch. Mark Isherwood.
feel like
I think he said something to. Seems he said something to the official after the touch.
yeah,
and,
I feel like the Welsh are getting a bit of angst here.
The ball's gone back to Singapore.
International touch, though, you know, everyone wants to play for the country, and sometimes the emotions can get over you, and that's what seems to be happening here.
It's final touch. Huang goes long. Oh, it's an interception.
Pick the bones out of that one.
I think there's been an injury. It's Andrew Jones with his arm up there.
So
it was a completely accidental collision.
Yeah, so Wang's just picked up and gone open side, so he's gone to try and hit the winger with a 4-on-3. He's not actually got there, and the Wales wingers got there first, but he's collided with the. Here's the replay now. Yeah,
see the long pass.
Pass. It goes to the link,
yes.
and he uses his nose to bump off the Singapore, and he's had to go and get some ice on the sideline by the looks of it.
Yeah, it looks like it was completely accidental, but that is going to hurt.
Yes, absolutely. Singapore now. I've got a fresh set because of that drop ball from the Welsh winger. They're going to second touch. They're just playing a bit of a patience waiting game. Wales defence have to keep walking forward because they've entered the 7-metre line, and I think because it's so slow that the referee has said that they need to advance quicker, hence why there's a penalty. So Wales get a second set of 6 here.
Yeah, it's Singapore asking all the questions at the minute, but the Welsh defence really holding firm. But how much pressure can they take as it comes through? But the touch, I think, was made. As it was.
That was a nice little play by Singapore. They faked to go the 23 quickie on the link. The half picked up number 8, Roy Moore. Apologies. And they chopped holes.
Huang goes through, but he was touched on the dive in.
Wales' defence is very solid at the moment. They've not had much attacking ball, but their defence is really good, and there's no clear-cut opportunities for Singapore at the moment. I would say Wales' defence is probably just a little bit better than Singapore's attack.
Huang again, everything seems to be coming through Huang.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, Wales' defence was held strong. Can they keep doing it? I think they need to try and get up the field and attack the Singapore defence and see how they can go there.
And Huang has come off. He looks like he's holding his upper leg, so I wonder if he's took a knock or got a strain or something. That'd be a blow to Singapore if he has to come off for any extended period.
Yeah, physio's having a look at him. We'll keep you updated on that, I'm sure. But you know, Wales are over the halfway line for the first time in quite a while after doing quite a few defensive sets.
Oh, nice speed!
Have we got one? No,
there was a touch made.
It was touch and pass. It was unfortunate there. I thought the winger tried to get through.
Singapore have the ball once again. They're on their own 10-metre. So get over halfway now. They'll make changes in their sub-box. Huang's still down being attended to, so he will be out of action for a while, I think.
Yeah, and I think he'll be a bit of a miss at the moment, but then we don't know. He's run everything. There might be other players on there that can run stuff now, so give someone else an opportunity. And currently it's not worked, so let's see if others can create a bit more of a clear-cut opportunity for Singapore to go 1-0 up.
It seems Singapore are just trying to work out this Welsh defence and look where the gaps
They've got
are.
an overlap
They've got
here.
overlap now. Oh, it's not taken. Unlucky.
Wales are scrambling really well in defence. They're getting across. The wingers just got across really well there to make that touch. It didn't need a dive even, so he's scrambling really well. Just would like to see a bit more from Wales in attack because they're struggling to get past that halfway line. I think when they do, they might create something, but again, they've not got past halfway, and it's another defensive set.
So Singapore have it in the Welsh half. Seem to be favouring this left-hand side. That's a nice backhand pass, but once again, the Welsh defence coming up, making the touch, giving Singapore very little in something clear to look at. It's the captain, Jim Layard.
Oh, they've got an overlap now, but the scramble defence is going to got one underneath.
Oh, and there it is. And finally they do unlock the Welsh defence.
And it was only a matter of time, right, Jono? Like, when you've been attacking that many times, you're always going to concede at some point. It's a game of touch, it's an attacking sport. So what happens here? They go 3-on-2. They get on the outside. One defender's chasing inside, but no one chases underneath. No one goes for that second effort. And as you can see by the Welsh defender, he is struggling.
Yeah, it was John Francis. He went over towards the ball, which left the gap for Chris Rogers of Singapore to run into. And it's Singapore who take the lead.
Well deserved, I would say, as well, though.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. So Wales, who have had the tap off, will look to get straight back into it. But as we said, they've not really shown much attacking wise so far in the game. They might do now.
So that was the first time that Wales have actually got any go forward, and you know what, they got down there, they nearly made a score. It didn't happen, but it's good to see that they've got that go forward, and hopefully they can keep doing that to open this game up.
I think Lyndon Lewis thought he'd actually scored there.
I think he was running back to halfway, wasn't he?
Had to be told by the official no, the touch was made.
It was definitely the right call by the official as well.
Singapore 1-0 ahead, 15 minutes into the game, and if we had stats for possession and territory, I think it would be very much on the left-hand side of the field as we look at.
Yeah, if we had a heat map, it would definitely be in the left side as we look at it. And we spoke about coach killers again, and dummy half first touch got caught, so it's a turnover. And Singapore got the ball down, they've got it moving quickly. It's first now, so second touch coming. They've got 4 or 5 more touches to come.
Down it goes.
So they're going to run a nice quickie play here. Oh no, they're going to run a scoop. He's going right short side. He's getting goal.
Somebody open. Oh, it was Chris McNamara going into the end zone, and he just needed somebody open to pass to. Was looking right hand side, but was probably just a little over exuberant with the pass.
Yeah, I think he thought he was in field more than he was. The ball went out, but no, good set-up play, good scoop short side. It was the right option, just the wrong execution in the end.
As it is, still, is that an injury? I think it is. It's Peter Over, who just...
Wales are through and 3 in goal, so see what can come over there. So it's speculative.
That was just a real throw and hope, wasn't it?
Well, I think he did all the hard work and no one followed him. So if you rewind this and look at that bit again, he gets through, but all the Welsh people are actually players are all where they are now. So he had no one to pass to, so he just went, right, I'm throwing this over my head.
Throw it high and hope it comes down.
It went backwards. There's been a lot more forward passes than that. So, but that again, as soon as Wales go forward, they've got that impetus to go forward and score. There's an offside there.
Singapore just head back. They're going to have a fresh set of 6 from halfway. So the tap-off play that we often talk about here.
Yeah, they should run the tap-off play, but sometimes it doesn't work like that. They need to get down the field first. If you're running from halfway, you should have 2 attacking sets. So they've got hands on the outside. No, good defence by the Welsh wing. But if you're tapping off from halfway, you should get 2 real good attacks, and they didn't get that opportunity, unfortunately.
It's Wales who have the ball now at halfway. We've got a couple of minutes or so left in this first half, and possession wise pretty much dominated by Singapore, but they've only got the 1 try to show for it so far. And Wales at the 7 metre.
We got away with one there. That was dummy half court. So let's see if they can make that count. It's last touch. It's a flick. It's a flick.
Oh,
it's
that's
a pass
brilliantly
away.
done. I think that's going to be given.
Referee's taking his step back. He's going to turn his hand. He has given the score. I would like to say that I think that was dummy half court, but after that there was a couple of great flicks. We're watching here. Scooper.
Down it goes.
Oh, flick.
Isherwood. Harris. Down.
Bit of a pirouette turn into that pass, and no one else was underneath. Very nice.
The hole really opened up there to dive into. And Wales are going to be delighted with that, because they've been pretty much penned in their own half for most of this first half. So to get a score so far into the first half with half-time approaching, they are really going to be happy with that.
Yeah, and if you're the Welsh side, you know, you've worked so hard in defence and you've only kept Singapore to one score, that you've now come back and you're now drawing. It's all level. I'd be very happy at half time. I think they can make a few changes in attack, and they might have a good opportunity to look to win the game. But Singapore, I've never seen 10 players in the middle of the pitch before, but we're at that point. It must be getting hot and tiring out there as we come towards the end of the first half.
Yeah, there's just 30 seconds left. Singapore with 5 on the left-hand side of the pitch. In fact, it looks like it's going to be Wales' ball.
There's a lot of talking to the referee here, and that comes from someone that has talked to the referee a lot, Jono, on the pitch. But there is a lot of deliberating, should we say, or persuading, maybe.
Well, there goes the hooter to end the first 20 minutes, and we're all square at 1-1. And I think Singapore are probably going to be the most disappointed out of the two teams, because they had a lot of possession, a lot of territorial advantage as well, but allowed Wales to score that try in the last couple of minutes of the half.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens in this second half. I always think a game of touch, you know, the first 20 minutes you should be trying to grind the other team out. I think Singapore have done that to Wales, and if they can continue doing exactly the same as they've done in the first half, I would say they come out on top. But this is international touch. Wales have defended really well. You can take a lot of heart from that, and that they've got that one opportunity and they've scored it. So if they get another one, they could build on that.
And the great thing about that Welsh try was some really good, quick touch passing, and to allow that hole to open up, and just went for it, and it was over. Yeah, there was a few good passes, few good flicks, bit of a pirouette and turn, and the hole opened up, and they took advantage of it. So, yeah, we're for an exciting second half, and it'll be interesting to see who wants it more. I think that's probably what we're looking at in this second half. We'll look at this category in a little bit more depth here. So, as I said, both teams have played 2 games yesterday. They've got 2 games scheduled for today, so they've got another one starting at 4:25. So, not a lot of recovery time in between the 2 games. England currently top of this pool after 2 wins. Wales we did see on here yesterday against Ireland, where Ireland coming away with a 6-2 victory. Ireland are playing England right now,
that'll be a good game.
Yes, that'll be a match that I think has a lot of significance on where people are going to finish in this round robin section.
Yeah, it's only the round robin section, then we get into the finals, I believe, on Friday, and it's all to play for, really. You know, if you come first, you're going to play 4th in that final round, and if you come second, it's 3rd. So playing to get top of the group is going to be crucial, and I think England have come out on top so far. You know, I would like to shout out my father-in-law, plays for England, Mark Hobson, so let's see if he can come out on top. But I know how much effort he puts in, and he's over 10 years over the age category here as well. So there's some old bodies on here, but they're really running well.
Yeah, so there's 2 games today, another 2 games tomorrow. That'll finish the round robin section, and then they have another, I suppose, round robin final round, but that depends on what positions they finish in this initial section. And we will have the final game, first against second, here on Saturday at 9:40 a.m. So that is certainly something to look forward to.
Yeah, absolutely, and hopefully we'll have a good grandstand for that as well.
So that is in the future. Let's talk about the here and now, as Singapore and Wales are all square in this one. It looks like Hwao Hang is back on the bench. Appears to be. He's just taking a jog now. He's seems to be moving okay.
Well, yeah, he didn't play that last 10 minutes really, did he? But he definitely made a difference. Be interested to see. He's definitely holding something down there.
It looks like groin from the way he's holding. There's someone else having work for Singapore as well.
I think the most important person in the 50s management team is the physio and medical team. They're definitely going to be crucial to get the bodies through these 5 days of touch. You know, we talk about every level, but it's 2 games a day, and these guys trying to get their bodies up and down between games, recover well. The physio is going to have a big job on their hands to get them doing it, and fair play, they do a magnificent job.
Well, it's Singapore who have the tap off in this second half. 30 seconds until we do get underway, and it'd be interesting to be a fly on the wall, if there were any walls down there within these two supplies.
Fly on the huddle.
Yes, because I think Singapore will have been disappointed, but they know that they had all that possession. It's just a case of them trying to unlock that Welsh defence a bit more.
Yeah, I think they just need to carry on doing what they're doing. Wales have scrambled really well, but I don't think any defence can scramble for 40 minutes. It'd be interesting to see if they can. If Singapore keep doing what they're doing in that first half, I think they'll get a few more scores and maybe take this one out. But if they don't do that, Wales can definitely come back into it and get the win as well. But we're all square, sorry. So it'll be interesting to see where we get from here as Singapore go for a 32 dump, 32 scoop short side.
Quick pass in, touch is made, and that's all 6 used up. Wales have it, very deep in their own half though. Again, that high defence from Singapore. Whenever Wales have had the ball, it's been a feature of Singapore's plays how high they are defending.
Yeah, I think they're getting onside. They're even 2 metres behind the offside line, so they can rush up and do exactly what they've done now and get the half court, and it's a turnover. So Singapore have got a good good territory to start their set of 6.
Yep, it is Singapore coming over to this right-hand side.
So looking at how Singapore attack, it's interesting. They go very much towards their sub-box, and then they look to spread it. But at the moment they're not using the speed of the ball. They are going to try and do it now. But the man on, well, if they can get on the outside, have they done it? No. Good touch by the far link of Wales. Are they going to do the same thing where they come to the right, try and stack the field to the right?
Touch made again.
So this is now touch 5. They've got no platform to set this one up for, so they're just going to have to either kill the ball at their sub-box, which they're going to do. And that's actually very intelligent play, because now Wales, to get off their to go towards their sub box, they have to go across the pitch and up the pitch. So it's the hardest time to get off the pitch. We'll see if they can do it. They've already lost 1 touch, but they're getting across nicely.
But I suppose that's the advantage of this 50 section, is you've got the experience as well, having played this game, and it's knowing where to go, knowing what to do, knowing where to be on the field.
Yeah, and touches, well, any sport really is about winning in the head. And these guys have been around. They know everything. You know, they know how to play the game. As he's put the ball down backwards, but that was a turnover. And they know the game. Sometimes, just fortunately, their bodies don't allow them to go as quick as their heads want them to. But that's why we have seniors groups, because they're all in the same boat.
Singapore come over to this side again, so that will allow them to get some fresh legs on.
So they've gone for a 32 scoop short. Is he going to wrap? He's going to go step right back. Have we got a touch? Another touch again.
Yes, I think the touch was made there. It was Hugh Loghorn, I think.
Good defence by Wales. They stayed man on. There was no overlap. And the referee's calling something. I'm not sure what he called, but it's been turned over.
So Wales have it again. And a feature of the game that their defence has been so strong.
It has. I just would like them to get out the pitch, up the pitch, and I want to see how their go forward is in defence again. In attack. But we're having to watch them defend again.
Yeah, they've turned it over. So Singapore with a fresh set of 6.
The Welsh winger's back on. He's got some good strapping around that nose. I think he probably got a bit of a nosebleed in that block. Oh, and we've got a bit of contact in the middle of the park as well.
Again, that was purely accidental. And
he's still down.
So
a bit of concern for the Welsh player here.
It's John Francis who was down. Let's have a look at this again.
So we'll talk about the touch technique here. So as the Welsh winger actually goes in to make the touch, I would say he didn't use his hands, and as the replay shows, he didn't use his hands, and he just allows the player to make the touch with his shoulder. So I think, yeah, and the referee's probably made the right call here. He's been forced subbed because he's not made the touch correctly. So a really good call from the referee, and I still think he's a bit winded from that one by the looks of it.
Yeah, it was Roy Moore going through, and I think it was the shoulder to chest, which will wind you. I mean, Roy Moore, he looks quite a solid unit, and
Mark Singh again has just made another hard touch for Wales. So that's 2 hard touches in a row now. So the referees will be really looking for that.
He's earned his place on the tour via strong straight running and fine offloads. And
well, there's a lot of straight running there, wasn't there?
It certainly was. Moore heads to the sub box to bring a fresh player on, and now there's space over on this right hand side. It's a good take. The touch is made by Andrew Jones. Into the infield again. Here's Layard.
They're going to run a sweeper move, so he's on the outside.
Space on the left.
Oh, it's again good defence.
They recovered really well because it looked like the hole was there for the try to be scored.
Yeah, Jeffrey Anich got on the outside with that sweeper move, and Wales defenders just got across again. They've been scrambling all game, and I'm really impressed with their scramble game here because they've been on the back foot, but defensively they've been so solid.
Down on the 7 metre, this space on the right, but they've not used it. It was Alistair Wood who to me looked clear on the right hand side if they could have got the ball to him. Wales have it back again.
There's a lot of shouting going on out there, and Wales are going to have to defend quickly, but Singapore have gone quick. Can they spread the ball? Oh, the winger comes in and nearly gets another blood nose.
Really, yeah, it was a strong, aggressive drive out in defence though by Andrew Jones, and he's not letting that strapping on his face bother him. He's like his body on the line stuff.
Absolutely, and he did the right thing. There was an overlap, so he had to shut that overlap down, and he did exactly that. Yes, it gives Singapore another 6, but if they're going to score, oh, he's done it again. So exactly the same thing. There was a 2-on-1 on the outside. He said they had to shut that down. He's made the right decision, and Singapore couldn't get the ball away to score.
Yeah, it's twice that they've had Alistair Wood free on the right hand side and not using him, but they might be in here now. I think they are.
They absolutely are. This is probably because they've been defending so many sets that there's a bit of tiredness out there, so they actually run a 32 short, and number 1 just runs into the hole. Nice little pop into hole 1, and again, because the Welsh defenders have been running from left to right, the holes creep in and they've managed to score.
Captain Jim Layard hands it out to Chris Rogers, and Rogers puts the ball down. Rogers now in the sub box, hands on hips.
Yeah. Oxygen mask on. No, that was a really good score, and I think that is an outcome of relentless attack and defenders having to move left, right and centre, so it was really good. Can Wales now get an attacking option? They've got an overlap if they go left. Oh, he boulders through, but two good defenders get there.
Touch was made, Jamie O'Connor just looking for the gap. It was closed quickly by Singapore, and they've not had to defend much, Singapore, but when they have had to defend, they've done so very well.
Yeah, so far so good. I think they've only conceded one score in 28 minutes, and that's, you know, I'd be impressed with that in any game. It was good to see Wales.
We saw this was a feature of the 50s game yesterday, where Wales was on. A lot of, not just touching, there's a lot of actual, seems to be like hits.
So if you talk about, we're going to go quite technical with this next point. When you make the touch as a defender, you have to ensure that your arms are bent and you're touching the player. Currently, the last 2 or 3 hard touches from Wales, they're actually putting their shoulders in. They're putting their arms by their side and putting shoulders in. A bit like a rugby union contact, whereas you should have your arms inside your chest, almost at chest height, and you use their momentum to push you backwards, but that's not happened a couple of times, and the referee is right to make those penalties. Maybe he might start cautioning them. See, that last touch was a very good one. There was a good push off the chest, and that's fine, but when you start using your shoulder, that's where the issues arise. Good dive to stop that scramble score.
Yeah, it's still there for Singapore as they go left hand side, may have to come in field now, but again the Welsh defence really holding firm on the Singapore attacks. You would think with the possession and territory they've had, they should be a lot further ahead than they are.
Yes, absolutely, but it's more impressive. So here we go. So we've just had some chat back from the I'm not sure who it is at the moment, but he's now been sent for time. So if you've not seen a period of time yet, you have to you're in an exclusion zone at the opposite end of the pitch, and it's 4 complete sets that you're there for. So if it's 2 from Singapore and 2 from Wales, that's how long he has to stay there for, and it's a very lonely place up there. So it's now 6 on 5, and I think the referee's right to give that.
I think that's the first one we've seen on this pitch.
Is it?
I'm
is
pretty
it the
sure
first one
it
we've
is.
seen? That's good though. We're a day and a half in. That's the first one we've seen. And now, unfortunately, Wales have given 3 penalties away on their try line, which means another player has to be excluded. So we've now got a 6 on 4 situation. So they should definitely score, but Wales have got a cross for that one. So 6 on 4 just for this set. As soon as this set's complete, the Wales defender can come back on, apart from the one that's been excluded for 4 complete sets.
So 2-man power play for Singapore, but they've not taken advantage.
I like the ice hockey analogy there, Jono. You're absolutely right, it is a power play, you're absolutely right. And you know what, Wales had 4 players, their scramble defence has worked so well this game that they forced an error. They just need to get off the pitch now, they'll be very tired.
Well, they're back to 5, but they head to the box, but
that penalty helps, they can get players off, they can get players on.
So this is the second set of the exclusion penalty.
It depends what the referee says. It might be the third, because he gave a penalty and then he gave a penalty. That's actually a complete set. So we'll see what the referees say here, whether he goes it's 2 or 3 sets. So that's, we would say that's the second or third one. We're not sure which way the referee's going to go with that.
Singapore who have it, they're very deep in their own half. 8 minutes remaining in the game.
Playing against 5 when you've got 6 players sounds like an easy opportunity, but as you know from the ice hockey, Jono, that you don't always score when you've got a power play, and you, as a defence, you defend even better. So this is what Wales will look to do here.
Yeah, to use some ice hockey stats, a power play generally successful 20 to 25% of the time.
I get that, because you don't see many scores from a power play, and you would assume there would be with the amount of players, well, 1 less player. So. Oh, so the exclusion zone, yeah, we're back to 6 players now. I think we're back to 6 plays. Yes, so that was the 4 complete sets.
So Wales back to a full complement. See, I was looking the other way.
Yeah, so was I. I didn't see a signal from the referee actually, but we've just had a wait. Oh, hang on. Wow. Referee's having a chat with someone.
Seems to be having a chat with Ben now.
He's having a chat with John Francis, who was excluded.
Has he come back on early, I wonder?
There's even more deliberating going on. So
yeah, he's going back to the exclusion box.
There's a lot of whistle blowing. There's a lot of.
No, I wonder if he's come back on too early.
I think he has, because I never saw the referee allow it. He's now allowing him to come on. You're trying to give the advantage to the attack, and that didn't happen. The referee didn't actually say you could come back on. I was watching them, and I think he just ran off and got back on. And he has to come on between the sub boxes, which I don't think he did either. So we're now back to a full complement, and Singapore are now moving forward to try and make this 3-1.
Yeah, they didn't take advantage of the superior numbers that they had there really. 6 on 4 and 6 on 5, almost an interception, and Singapore will get away with that and they'll have a fresh set of 6.
Yeah, I think it was they had an overlap and he actually picked the wrong option. The winger was man on, but there was a hole in underneath him, and if he'd have gave that short pass, I think there would have been a score. But they've got a fresh set of 6. I think there's been a lot of set of 6s for Singapore.
It just seems to be with Singapore. Something I've noticed throughout the game is when they get in between the 7 metre and try line, they stop. The flow seems to go completely out of their game, and their mids are stopping and looking rather than just taking the pass.
So we're playing men's, and there's obviously the 3 different codes that we've got, and this is the first time it proves my point, and your point exactly right, Jono. When Singapore are running and they're getting on the outside, they create overlaps, and we've just had a switch there and we've caused an overlap and we nearly had a score. When they stop, it causes the defence to have a breather, and they can recover from that. But if you're running in a men's game, you should always be trying to run on the outside, because the more you run on the outside, the more you get tired, the more opportunities that will come, and that's not been happening. I think you're absolutely right.
And I think that's probably why Singapore have probably not scored more tries than their territory and possession would suggest.
But we're up here. I'm not 15.
True.
I've not run at this. I don't think I'll ever run when I'm 50 at this speed. So I'm giving them all credit for being out there. It's amazing watching them play, and with the speed that they're running at, it's really impressive.
Right, still 2-1 Wales, still very much in this game.
It's 5th touch. Can Wales create something off this 5th touch? They've got an overlap. Can he go? Can the winger finish it?
He's got 2 in front of him. It was well closed down by Singapore as well.
Yeah, again, it was good defence.
Yardi puts the ball down, goes for the change. Singapore coming again through the middle. There goes again. And just flow seems to stop. 5 touches. They're going to go over to the right hand side. Needs an option.
They're going backwards. Yeah, they've lost a bit of speed. It was last touch though, so they've killed it on their side. I said if you're going to kill the ball anywhere on the pitch, you kill it on towards your sub box, which I think they've done. Oh, here we go.
Nice dummy.
He tried it again. It was a good dump though, really good dump. So Wales have now got the go forward, and hopefully they'll get a score off this if they can.
Right, they just ran out of room. Has it gone into touch?
Referee signalling over the mark, over the sideline, but I think she means forward. Yeah, touch and pass. Actually, the referee signalled. So a fresh set of 6 for Singapore. They'll look to sub off. There's a few hands on hips, so they'll look to try and get off and get some fresh legs on.
They've got to get over to the left-hand side, so they'll have to work it across.
Which they do quite well.
That's one touch made, and now the changes will come. 2 touches. 3 touches at halfway, they'll be happy with that.
Oh, absolutely. I think we said with Ian in our segment between the last few games.
What's it called? It looks like it's a fresh set of 16.
Yeah, it's a hard touch again. It's exactly the same thing as what we were saying earlier. He's not using his arms to make the touch, and even if he's just putting his chest out there, he should be initiating the touch, and he should be making sure that he's putting his arms close to his chest and initiating that, which he's currently not doing, and the referees are picking it up every single time.
Comes back, still at 7 metre for Singapore. I think they have 2 touches left. Comes back into the middle.
I think the referees have refereed this really well, actually, with those hard touch calls. I think they've made every call right. So yeah, it's really good to see that they're picking up those small things and eradicating those issues.
There's been no quarter given by either team. It's been quite in the context of touch, it's been quite a brutal battle. It has been quite, I won't say aggressive, but there's been a lot of hard touches in there. And
so I come from a men's background, playing men's, not mixed very often, and men's is all about aggression in the right way, that you can make the touch. So that touch was great by John. He's put 2 hands up. That wasn't a hard touch. If that was, not sure what he's got pinged for there, but there should be aggression, but controlled aggression. You should be looking to run hard. You should be looking to hold touches up and making touches hard to initiate. But again, it is touch. It's minimal contact. It's just how much the referee's allowed to get away with, and I think they've had the right balance here.
And there is the final whistle, and the handshakes come in. It was a really bruising battle, but great respect between the 2 teams. I think Wales will probably be disappointed that they gave Singapore so much possession, but they're also going to take a positive by how well they defended.
Yeah, they defended really, really well, and if they can get past halfway and do the same as what they are